that button.
All right.
Dude, that was a good opener.
Can I get a copy of that? That was so cool.
That was sick.
Yeah, I'm glad you used that picture of me and my cat too. That's hilarious.
That's all courtesy of Pat, man. I was like, send me a couple pics of you guys because we like to throw like the either in the thumbnail or in the intro that we make for the show. So he sent me over a couple pics.
That made us seem really badass, I think.
I
was like, oh, we're badass now.
That could be a comic, like a dude, two dudes, the one with an axe, like, and the other one has his
cat.
Little, like what do you call it? Like a familiar cat, like a familiar, and that's like go on adventures and shit. Yeah,
I'd like cool. That is good.
That was great. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Pat. I wrote Pop Scars, and I'm the co-creator and writer of the Jurassic Parkour 4. It's our new book on Kickstarter. And this is Andy, who, I co-created the book with. We went to college together. We have made a bunch of short films together and just can't seem to stop working on stuff together.
Yeah, we keep getting told no, but we keep trucking forward. We started this thing, what is it, 2014? And it actually started out as it was originally called the Super Fantastic Jurassic Parkour 4. And it was supposed to be a comic, a cartoon. And we worked with an animator and some other friends and people and made like a little sizzle reel and went to pitch meetings and had some ins and outs at different companies, Adult Swim. And we had a really great meeting with a woman who was a producer for The Simpsons at one point. And we really,
I thought that was it. I was like, okay, it's happening now. We did it. We did it.
She's going to give us $1 million right now. So. No, but and then we went down a lot of different roads with it and even had a shop agreement with some other producers, and it kind of just never really went anywhere. And we took a long break from it for a while. And then Pat approached me, I don't know, probably a year and a half later. Maybe?
I did Pop Scars. I showed you Pop Scars. Yeah. And I was like, look at this. I was like, check out what a comic could be and it could do. Because him and I had mostly collaborated on like film and stuff. And, we did a short film that kind of led to Pop Scars. It was kind of like a Hollywood short film about an actor and he's struggling. And there's some crossover characters. I think Mary and Heath and some of the thumbtacks that kind of crossed over from the short film. So that's, so I think seeing the comic though, I don't think Andy wasn't a big comic guy, and like, I love comics. So seeing it probably, what did you think? It was like a different experience, right? When you saw the comic.
Yeah. When I saw that Pat hey, I took this story that I had and look how badass it looks. Being a filmmaker that doesn't have a major budget to make a big production of something, it's really hard to make stuff look and feel how you want it to when you're writing it, how it should be. But with the comic, I was like, holy crap, Pat, this artist made all your characters come to life. It like really created the world for you. So I was like, oh dude, we should definitely explore it and see how it looks as a comic. And then he was like, okay, cool. And he actually drew up the first the flashback from issue number 1.
Okay.
Where'd you get that, man?
That's on the Kickstarter. That's my favorite thing. It actually shows that these guys have legitimately been doing these characters since 2013.
Yeah, like that's like no lie. Like we were hanging out one day and he said something about dinosaurs and roller skates. And I was like, okay. And then I grabbed a pad and we just started coming up with characters. And, like it started to feel like there was like the TMNT vibe there, but there was something else there too. But initially, I think it was just about like, who are the characters? Who are these dudes, that we care about? You know what I mean? So like, I think right there we drew, I think, the 4 heroes and the bad guy. And
the 2013 sketch, all of those are the very first original sketches on Pat's couch in 2013 while we were playing NHL on PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, I knew the title, and I was like, okay, they're dinosaurs at parkour, but it was like, okay, I can't draw at all. I can't. And like Pat really just kind of like, oh, well, this guy's got to have,
It was fun to like choose. Like I remember we had a good time picking which dinosaurs would be the team. And it was like, well, you don't do the T-Rex. He's like a bad guy. And it was like, what other dinosaurs are out there? And it's like, how could we use them in a new way? It felt a lot like Street Sharks and those 90 cartoons that we grew up on that, like, I never got out of our system, kind of,
Mm-hmm. Oh man, the Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but so let's talk about Street Sharks.
Yeah, Street Sharks. We all just had like a good pause about like Street Sharks, and like I get it, that needs to come back in a big way. But this is our version of that stuff, Yeah.
But yeah, Pat, totally. He's to thank for convincing me, like, hey, let's make this into a comic. And after we went down the long road of finding an artist, because we had, I think, 4 or 5 people, different artists draw stuff for us to pick the style out. And the person who is doing the artwork for us, Ari's
amazing, man.
Ari and
Ariel.
Yeah, they're really, really great. And at first we were so we weren't totally sure that they were the right ones. And then the more we thought about it, we were like, oh, these guys are perfect. They really, really captured it unlike anybody else we had.
It's pretty polished. Like, I mean, they did a really good job with the art. It definitely captures that, like back in the day, like you said, the TMNT, like
Saturday morning feel, man.
Saturday morning feel, yeah, exactly. Like
this is like Saturday morning if you're hungover,
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a kid's book because there's some stuff in it that's probably not for very young kids, but I mean, I think it's got a good general audience, like maybe like a PG-13, maybe. If you had to give it like like definitely like teens or bordering teens all the way up to like an adult, but yeah, for sure.
We tried to keep it that way. We didn't want to go hard with like too many F-bombs. I felt like Pop Scars, there's like the F word like in every balloon. I think it's like a Scorsese movie or something, like old school Scorsese. But I'm glad. I think it works better that we took that stuff out and found other ways to be funny, because then I think the characters came through in a better way. Right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I think I don't want to say like using profanity is cheap, but part of the fun of creating something is like figuring out a way to make it's just not who they are. Like every once in a while, one of them will say shit or whatever, but
it's funnier to find a way around it though.
Yeah. Why?
Or as they go to swear, like something happens that cuts it just short right before they swear, right? Like it,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a good way to.
I like that you guys kept it a little closer to Saturday morning than trying to make it too edgy, because I like the cleverness. I thought the stuff with the mayor particularly was really funny. The fact that like he was in hiding, but like he's still the mayor somehow. Like that stuff just cracked me up. You know what I mean? And it was Saturday morning cartoon to the bone, and like that's the stuff that really won me over to the book personally.
Mayor Jeff Goldblum.
You know what we didn't talk about last time, Pat, which I was like, how do we not bring this up? According to the person that we had the shop agreement with, they told us, because we told them like we want Jeff Goldblum when it was still trying to be a cartoon.
Yeah.
We were like, we want Jeff Goldblum. She emailed us and said, so I got it in front of Jeff, and we were like, shit. Jeff who? She's like, Jeff Goldblum. And we were like, what did he say? She was like, he said he loves it, but he's too busy. And I'm like,
I don't know if he loves it, but
Yeah, but who cares anyway?
Yeah, I mean, like we're obviously pulling from you see the references, but hopefully we write it in a way that it's new and different. But like, Jurassic Park is a huge reference, a huge part of our childhoods. Like, dinosaurs, larger than life when we were kids, so like I think it's fun to find a way to bring like Mayor Huge, like that Jeff Goldblum tether, whether it's him or not, it depends on copyright, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's influenced by it. It's really fun to like. I think all of the characters in the comic are plucked from, creativity is the art of the art of hiding where you stole it from, right? So it's we took these characters from places that we really loved and we reimagined them, and some of them are, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that any of this stuff it's all very original in the sense that these are new characters you've never seen before, but when you read it, you're gonna see there's like, familiarity to them
with it. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Hopefully,
especially kids that grew up with the like in the Saturday morning cartoons era. Like, I mean, younger people today probably don't understand how important Saturday mornings were to like our generations as kids, like that
block a time,
Oh yeah, like right till noon, man. That was it. Don't plop. You get your bowl of cereal, just plop right down in front of that TV. You eat your cereal, and you had a 4-hour block of just escapism into fantasy, right? Into
like a ritual.
All these different worlds. Yeah, exactly.
I still watch those too. Like, I haven't grown out of the cartoons that I like loved back then. Like, I still watch them. I still do. I still watch Dragon Ball Z and Batman animated series and Ninja Turtle. Like, so I think this is fun because it's like a long lost Saturday morning cartoon. It was one that like aired on some channel that we didn't get, So I think with the graphic novel, it's really cool because you get to see like what a whole story would be. You're not just getting like a little sliver or like a tease. I think we go all the way. We give you like a full story. I think you see what happens to the characters, and I think hopefully you want more. But I think if this is all we ever put out, I think it's like an awesome like tribute to like the characters in this whole world.
Yeah, it's the end of the book definitely leaves you in a place where you're like, oh, that was a nice, really tied up in a nice, neat little bow. But it also, there's like a little piece where you're like, oh, if I just pull on this whole thing, I can see where this can unravel and the story can keep going. So like Pat said, there's definitely based on our film background, we understand story structure and arc and all that stuff. So we really get to see like this cool thing happen. We're really excited for people to read it. So
any chance?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Any chance on a spinoff about Jerry? By any chance?
Jerry spinoff? Yeah, I mean Jerry, he's great.
we were just talking about Jerry actually, and his he's gonna have a moment, a good Jerry moment. So
I think that there's so many characters that it's hard to like jump to them all and give them their time to shine. Like, I wish we had more book to play with, because I feel like already it's like, oh yeah, Jerry, he could have like a whole issue of his errands or his party escapades, and it would be hilarious.
Yeah, it's called Better Call Jerry.
So I'm looking at it now. The Kickstarter is funded. You're at 100, almost hitting 150%. You guys have 6 days left on the campaign. So people, if you haven't checked it out, go check this out. There's still 6 days, so you have plenty of time to go back this. I think you guys are partnering up with Lesser Known on this one for the printing and everything. Yeah,
I'm like, the indie comics community is so cool. I'm like, it's on one end I'm working with Godhood Comics and Tyler and his book The Antagonist, and he's going to be the one really putting out the Jurassic Parkour with Godhood and Punch Publishing. And then I'm working with Lesser Known Comics too. Like Mark and those guys are just amazing for like how they support everybody, and it will be available through their stuff too. It's just cool. It feels like the community is expanding, and I'm seeing a lot of guys make really cool books. I think what's crazy right now is there were more Kickstarters happening from all those guys like now more than I've ever seen. I think I backed like 8 Kickstarters in the past like month just because it was like friends. So many friends are running stuff and making books, and you know, you just want to like help if you can, support people and stuff. But yeah, man, I like those guys. They're doing some really cool stuff. I think they want to help people make stuff, and I think that's what's really cool. You know, because it's hard to learn how to make comics. I think it was very hard. I had, you know, luckily I had Phil who edited Pop Scars. He kind of helped me, and hopefully, you know, I think those guys though are like a great resource. If you have a book, you need to make it, you need to get it out. Hit up Mark at Lesser Known Comics, and like those guys are just like more than willing to help you, or somebody in that group knows how to do what you need. That's what's really cool, you know. So yeah.
I just dropped the link for the Kickstarter for Jurassic Parkour 4 in the chat, and it's also down in the description. For there's 6 days left. Get on it, man. This book is so much fun, and I think these guys should like definitely shop it around once it's printed, and because I think they have a cartoon here, man, with some action figures. I think they got a whole range. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see it. All right, you see it. Yeah.
All right.
Like I see, you know, we always talked about like how sick would it be to have the toys and the cartoon and the video games, and like why not? You know, I think we have enough characters to just like keep, you know, having fun with it, you know.
For people that haven't checked out the Kickstarter, you guys had an original theme song made for it as well, right? That's what on your promo reel on the Kickstarter, you have a theme song. And you sent it to us, so we loaded it up onto the StreamYard, and we'll play it for people to let them have a little taste of what this book is about, and a pretty cool theme song to go with the book as well. I got a kick out of it, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Yeah, my buddy, he's my closest friend who I grew up. I probably met him when I was 8 or something. It's my friend Will Hardcastle. And he's a multi-instrumentalist and a composer and singer, songwriter. He does everything. And I hit him up one night and I said, "Hey, dude, we need a theme song for this thing." And we showed him a couple crude drawings and stuff. And he made that in like, it felt like he did it in like, and it was like less than that. It was like, here you go.
No notes. We were just like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it was like, we don't. Yeah. Okay, sweet, perfect.
Because you know what? Now that you say this stuff, it makes me remember we did an Indiegogo years ago to get this thing animated. I remember. I don't think we succeeded.
We didn't.
But I also don't think we had like a real plan either. We were just like, we need dough, we need money to make this thing happen.
Yeah, and we tried to raise $25,000.
Really?
Yeah.
See, so we had no plan at all.
No.
We had no experience in this stuff. We were just like kind of swinging and missing, but it was good. I'm glad that it didn't come out then, because it would have been like just a mess. It would have been a mess. I remember reading some of our old scripts, and they're funny, but they're not like watchable.
Would that be enough to do an animation? I thought that they were like a episode of Batman. I thought like was like $20,000. Man, that seems a little short, right?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to raise $25,000 because we realized how expensive the whole thing,
time consuming it was.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
you know, all these big shows, Family Guy, and also all their animation is done in Korea and overseas, because they can just get it. They have all these connections that can just get it hammered out so quickly. And fast and inexpensively, and now we obviously weren't going to have that luxury, so it was like finding someone locally that could handle it. And you know how these things go. We're not making money off of the Kickstarter. We're just it's just helping us pay for costs so people can get this thing out there. Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. And I think we're thankful for everyone who's donated, and know that it's all going to a good place, and it's all going to help us get the book to you guys faster. So, but yeah, animation, that's the thing. That was one of the reasons why it was so easy to convince me, hey, this is a comic now, not a cartoon. It's like, Pat's like, look, no moving, no frames here, just page by page. And I'm so grateful for that, because it is really cool. Just
And I think back on TMNT, and that started as a comic and grew from there. And I think if we really want to like grassroots this bitch and grow from the ground up, like let's do it right. And I think this, this comic is like, I think anybody reads it, they see it. You see the story, you could almost hear it. Like I feel like it's an easier pitch.
Yeah. So let's give people a little taste of this song. I know Johnny loaded it up, so man, Johnny, man, let it rip. Let's let the people listen to this song.
All right.
They're dinosaurs and they're ready for war. Super fantastic Jurassic Parkour. Rex Luthor's gonna get it when the show on the claw. 200 million years old, but they're banging on your door. They're wearing shirts and pants. No natural habitats. Mutated in the land. Sorry, pizza but the president. Super fantastic Jurassic Parkour 4.
That's rad, dude. That's so good.
My wife sings that song like
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just like hanging out in the office and she'll just be like, I'll just hear her go, Super Fantastic Jurassic Parkour. It's awesome. It's so cool. Unprompted.
It's catchy.
It is catchy.
Yeah. I like when they start going high pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. That song is so good, man. It really is.
Yeah.
I like that little throwback, like the little like that little 8-bit kind of almost video game kind of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very 8-bit. I could see like the side scroll video game to that. Where they're just doing like parkour. Yeah.
Will, if you're watching, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah, you did a great job. I love it.
It used to have different artwork. It used to have like hand-drawn or old school artwork that was kind of that fit more with what we were trying to do with the cartoon thing.
Yeah, do you have any that I'm laying around?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, look at that. How convenient.
Is this a song that he made when you guys were pitching it as an animation?
Yeah. This is an old song.
Okay, that song's like right from the get-go of that song then.
Yeah. So I have I have a couple. I'll show you like the tank one is really cool.
Yeah, the tank is awesome. But these original drawings are perks, are rewards on the Kickstarter. So
I saw there was a couple already claimed on the campaign page. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that you just saw was claimed, and then I don't know with you, but look how cool this is.
Yeah, this older artwork's dope as hell too, man. Damn.
Yeah, this is stuff I did that I just was like, this is back when I used to draw, and I was convinced that I was like, I could animate it, dude. I could do it, and then it just was like, oh wait, no, I can't.
I wish we had I have the original sizzle somewhere. I should send them just so they could check it out.
Yeah, I mean, awesome, you know what was bad about it is like there was no scene where all the dinosaurs were together talking.
Yeah.
It was just like little vignettes of them on their own, like screaming. Everyone was screaming, and like there was no comedy. Like you never got a sense of like, why is this funny? It was just like people screaming and kicking a door down, and then someone else screaming.
Well, you guys were ahead of your time because that's all these kids watching these YouTube videos. That's all it is people screaming all the time.
It is, yeah.
There was one of the vignettes was Keanu Reeves on his character from Speed on a bus, and he's like, "Oh, dinosaurs, cool!" and he slows down, the bus explodes because he's like sees the dinosaurs out the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to dig that up.
It's come a long way since then, though. I would say, I think that was like necessary to get out of our system. I feel like now what we're doing with the story and stuff like that is like much better, much more like thought out and like actually means something.
Yeah.
I feel like the other stuff was like kind of whatever.
For sure.
But like Adult Swim is a huge like network for like cartoons and animations and stuff. But since like back in the day when you pitched it to them, is there like more easier viable like outlets for that, like maybe through a YouTube channels, or is it easier, harder to get an animation out there for people to see, or like what's it like nowadays? Do you guys even know, or like if you're gonna try pitching this as an animation again?
I think you would probably need to have stuff made. You know, you probably need to have it.
Yeah.
Like, I think anything nowadays, if it's getting picked up, is you have to have something made, something finished.
Yeah.
You know, I know YouTube is a good option. I work on a YouTube channel as like my day job, like an animated one. And I do know that like animation is possible. It's doable. You know, there's a lot of affordable animators out there. It's just, you know, YouTube it's a gamble. You could be super successful on something, but also there's just like so much stuff being uploaded constantly. I think you have a better shot if you upload a bunch of stuff. If you have like 20 episodes of something versus if you have one episode and you hope that somehow this one thing gets picked and goes viral, you know. But if you had 20, and you build an audience and slowly grow with it.
Like drop one every week or every 3-4 days.
And even if they were 5 minutes, you know what I mean? 5-minute little things where it's always a cliffhanger, you know,
because someone might someone might not see the first one, but they might see like the 6th one you put out and like, what's this? And they can go back and find the others. And
yeah,
for sure.
We haven't talked about it as a cartoon in a while though, either, you know?
Yeah. I think so much of it now too is I still work in the industry and I have a lot of friends. I mean, Pat and I both do that are successful and in positions where I can call them and say, hey, would you take a look at this? And it's still really, and that's all fine and great. And it's really nice to have those contacts. But I think so much of it too is just being in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's so many avenues now for stuff to get made that, like Pat said, it's good to have this completed as one thing before we try and do it as another.
Yeah,
you got to make it first. You got to make it before anything happens.
I mean, there's exceptions to that rule. Not a lot of people like the movie Oblivion, but I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I like that one too a lot.
It's a great movie. The story I heard was that it was a
Skibidi Toilet. Yeah, Skibidi Toilet's like
my style is ridiculous.
That's insane stuff, dude.
That the person who came up with that idea just posted it as a blog. He had a few graphic novel frames and it was unfinished, but the right person saw it and said, "Oh, this is a feeture film." And then, if I'm wrong, whoever's listening and watching, then.
They do that with like a Twitter story every now and then, or something like that, where they'll pick something randomly. But I think for the most part, it's like finish the thing, put it out there, like build an audience, you know?
Yeah. At this stage, Pat and I too, we're so used to the door getting slammed in our faces for so many different things that we're kind of just like, we know that we're going to carry this thing ourselves to a certain point, you know, and we're okay with that. We're like, obviously we'll take a meeting, or of course we'll be happy to do that with whatever, but we're also at this stage, we know now it's like, we're comfortable. We're doing this thing. You know what I mean? It's And I think
that's not an exception. That's more of the rule. Like people getting the door slammed in their face. Like, so like people just keep going at it because you'll probably get the door slammed in your face 1,000 times before someone's like, yeah, we'll take a chance on it. And you know, it's about getting out there, beating the pavement, doing networking and just keeping at it. And like you guys didn't give up. 10 years ago, you pitched this as a cartoon. And then 10 years later, you come back to it. Now you're doing a graphic novel. So like, it's something you came up with 10 years ago. And look, you transition. Now you're doing a graphic novel, which isn't that far off from your initial idea of, I mean, it may not be like Adult Swim or something, but it's definitely a cool story with the same ideas, and you brought it to life, you know, and who knows where it can go from here once it gets into everyone's hands, you know. So that's pretty cool that, you know, you guys didn't give up on it, and now you just transition. Now you're making this graphic novel, which is really cool.
Yeah, and Kickstarter is you know, I'm not like, Kickstarters are weird, but like it's great that it could get out there, and it's great that people could see it and then like order it. You know what I mean? Like that's. I think they're tough because they're so long sometimes, you know, like, and you only really get like activity on like 5 days of like 30, you know, like Kickstarters usually have like a huge dead zone, and then all of a sudden it picks up before the end. So, you know, I like Kickstarters, and I'm learning something every time I do one.
Well, I was
wonder.
told that November, December are tough months for Kickstarters.
Well, I think we did know that too. I think it was just more of a matter of like it felt like the time, like we got to pull the trigger on this.
Like we were saying, it's not, we know we're not making money off of the Kickstarter, so it's really just to get it out there to help us get it out sooner. And I mean this year has been tough for a lot of people, especially that are working in our types of industries, like there's strikes and everything, and now it's the holidays, and it's been so anyone who has donated, thank you a million times.
Yeah, seriously.
We understand that it's like money is tight right now, but it's really cool that we have these people that are, some people obviously we don't even know them at all, that are willing to share their hard-earned money with us because they believe in something. And thank you for saying that about us, like not giving up on it. That's really, it means a lot because it's really easy as a creative person to just be like, well, 3 people didn't like it, so I guess it's not a good idea. And it's like 3,000 people didn't like it, I guess it's not a good idea. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's one person, 2 people need to like it, and that alone can either open up the floodgates for you, or it can just be fun to have one fan that's really into something you made, and that's cool too. So,
but I think that comes with time and maturity as well. As you get older, you get, you have life experience. When you're young and bright-eyed, you're like, I'm going to conquer the world and become, like you said, like when the producer of The Simpsons, you're like, yeah, that's it. We have it made. We're going to be millionaires and we're going to have a hit show. And then you're like, you think you're so close, and then like things fall through, and it's like, it's so deflating. But I mean, that happens in like everything, not just in creative fields. Like, I mean, things fall through all the time. And I think as you get older, you learn to deal with those setbacks a little better, and like transitioning it into something else, like comic now. So yeah, I think that comes with age. You learn through life, and
And another thing, I don't want to point this out, but it kind of comes tacked on with the what you guys are tackling, is you guys having to sell that it's not generic what you guys are putting out. You guys are actually going the extra mile and making a product that's not like, oh yeah, we're just trying to cash in. Like, you guys legitimately did do a love letter to the Ninja Turtles that was spot on and dead on. Like, you guys nailed it. But like, it's going to be hard to get that message that you guys did that to people. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of an uphill battle.
You know what though? I feel like Andy and I are like the dinosaurs, right? Like, we came up with this 10 years ago. We failed. We stashed it for a while. It kept picking at me. This thing like annoyed me, like, because I thought it was just like, it's like a Willy Wonka golden ticket. It felt like we had this Willy Wonka golden ticket, but we weren't going to the chocolate factory, And I just like wanted to go see that shit. So like, it just like, good ideas, I think, like possess you, and this one definitely did. And like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
Oh yeah, it's.
One thing I love about this Kickstarter too is you can either back, like, I think a single issue or the whole graphic novel, right? You have those 2 tiers in there, right? If I'm not
kinda
mistaken.
it's so you can back a noir version of issue 1, which is black and white, unfinished. There's some like finished inks. It's more of like a process kind of thing. Just to kind of give you a glimpse on like what went into the issue, how it developed, and it's kind of like more like a specialty item on the Kickstarter. And then the book is really the main reward, and we have 4 different covers from different artists. I think we just wanted to expand the rewards because really we only had like the 1 book, so we thought it might be a good idea to make something else.
It's a bigger book, right? Isn't it? How many pages is it?
The PDF I was like 35 issues, so
35 pages.
35 pages. My bad. Derp issues.
No, yeah, it's they're bigger, they're longer chapters. So I think it's the graphic novel is really like we say it's like 3 issues. So it's going to be like a little over 100 pages.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So if people are backing this, they're getting a full. Like, you don't have to wait another 6 months for issue 2 to come out, or you're giving them the full story here. You're getting 100 pages, a full out story, which is a little more pretty rare on Kickstarter. A lot of people do issues because financially it's easier for them, more viable. You have to pay your artist, but I love it that you guys are putting out a full graphic novel. Like, I appreciate that, and I love that.
And
that you guys are doing that.
Pop Scars is an add-on. So Pop Scars 1 to 6, you could also add on in case people wanted to do that too and didn't get that whole series. So that's available.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Like you said, you had some guest artists, and I see you have a guest artist for one of the covers that carries over from Pop Scars.
Yeah, Daniel.
Daniel, yeah, you have Daniel.
Yeah.
Anyone familiar with his work with on plastic? What else? Vinyl and also plush. Yeah, he did some great work on those.
I'm like messaging him like, Daniel, when are we going to do a book together? Yeah, his art's awesome. I loved the cover he did for Pop Scars. He did another cover for me for something else that I just haven't even started it yet. I just have his cover and like the concept. But man, he's so good. Yeah, I love his art.
So outside of this original graphic novel, do you guys got anything on the back burner now that this is kind of a success and it's funded? You got anything else planned for the 4?
For the dinos, or?
We've talked about several issues down the road of this thing, because like we were saying, like the story can continue or it can stop. We definitely have stuff like kind of a skeleton of where the story would go, but nothing cemented in stone that's set in stone that's we have release dates for or anything like that. So but other projects, we talk about stuff all the time. I mean, Pat and I probably have like, I don't know, we've probably talked about 150 to 200 different things that the things just come and go, and you have to, that's what's tough too, is like you have to really pick and choose which ones you're gonna really hone in on and say like, this is the one that I think we should focus on now.
They take so much time, man. They're such an investment. I think I didn't really realize that until I did Pop Scars and now this one, and I'm just seeing like, wow, you really have to put in the time and really love the project, because you're going to be with it for a long time, Mm-hmm. Luckily, both of these I love so much. I think the dinos and Pop Scars were great projects to be with for a long time.
And this project that the Jurassic 4 Parkour 4, is the book completed? Is artwork still needed to be completed on it? How far along is this book? Is it before it's completed?
So we're finishing up inks for issue 2. We're going to color issue 2. And Andy and I are finishing the script for issue 3 before we pass that off. So we still have a good chunk to go, but it's looking really good. And I think we're like on the right track. I think timeline wise, we should be good for like fulfilling everything and stuff like, it's looking good.
Yeah. By the end of December, issue 3's script will be finished. Okay. And we'll get that to Ari by the new year, which, he just sent us pages the other day for the second issue, and they're just like, we just never have notes. They're always so good. It's very rare, and if we do, they're very minor. He that's the other cool thing that we have to really, I think we should talk about, is just like he just really, really understands what
he gets the vibe completely. Yeah. Oh man, he really does. He understands like even the expressions and how he'll stretch them, and he gives them the like perfect cartoon like moment that you've come to know from watching stuff. He's like distilling it in a panel, and it's working so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the character of the horned one? What's his name?
Dante,
when he's flying through the air, and you have like the tear like, with the you could feel the lips flapping from the wind. Like, it's so good. He does such a great job there. Yeah, you feel it, like just how fast that he's flying through the air and stuff. Yeah, exactly. You definitely get the feel of that, and he does, like you said, he does a great job. Like, definitely, yeah.
We have some fun bad guys in the second part. So like, we introduced like I think like 3 new bad guys, and the second part is kind of like split up in a cool way. But one of them is just like this badass raptor on a dirt bike. He's on Daniel's cover, and Ari does a scene where he's a little baby and he's like crying, and it's just so funny. It's so like it's so animated and stuff. It's really I just cracked up when I saw it. It was like perfect.
There's stuff too that when you write it, I have to remember oftentimes when I'm writing stuff like, okay, this isn't a film or a cartoon. It's going to be a still frame. And I remember I was like, okay, I wrote this moment where this new character he's eating beers.
Okay.
He's like eating cans of beer. That's how like crazy he is. And it's like jacked up. And I remember seeing the page and I was like, yeah, it's perfect. There's just all these shredded beer cans around. And you're not going to write the description, but he did a really good job of making that come to life. Even if it only makes Pat and I laugh, it works. He does.
He makes us laugh. He like I think he even drew us into the second part as like two stoners.
We have a cameo.
That's really funny.
Yeah, we're blazing up in the mayor's office.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah. Gotta have a little cameo somewhere.
So this is great then. As a tier, so if people, because a lot of people probably backed your Pop Scars from back in the day, right? Issues 1 and 2 were Kickstarters.
Right.
So now if people want to go and finish that series, that's in the add-ons, or is it a tier when they go and back this book?
It's an add-on, so you could back $1 and then grab Pop Scars if you wanted, or you could grab all 4 graphic novel covers and pick up Pop Scars too. But yeah, we have 1 to 6 available.
And Santi also did a variant cover, I think, for one of the issues of Parkour as well.
Yes, he did, which was super nice of him. And it's totally a different style from him, which is super cool. I've never seen him draw like that. And he was just very happy to do it. And it's kind of has a kaiju Godzilla vibe to it, which I really like.
So I love the T-Rex. He doesn't do shonen manga style usually?
No, damn. I know. I see this and I'm like, okay, Santi, we have to do something now because that's just too cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
do you mind bringing that up one more time?
Yes,
I just want to get the record straight here, okay? And Pat, you might remember this, but the Rex has a metal jaw.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So years ago, 2014, we released our sizzle and we showed it to a fair amount of people. And in that sizzle, Rex's jaw falls off and his tongue is just kind of flopping around. And he's trying to talk and it's like really stupid. No joke. About, 5 or 6 months later, Lego came out with a dinosaur cartoon thing where the bottom jaw of the thing falls off. And the tongue is it was the same exact frame.
Yeah, like the framing was the same frame. I screenshotted both of them and I was like, "What? Where's my check?"
Yeah. we were like we did it first and just getting the record straight there. So, that's all.
So Rex does have a metal jaw. He has a bunch of different jaws that he could like replace.
Yeah. That's a result of the helicopter scene, right? After he comes back.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I like that. It makes me think of the what's his name from He-Man, the dude with the bottom metal jaw, and he talks.
Is it Glass Jaw or what's his name? Trap Jaw.
Trap Jaw. Yeah, Trap Jaw.
Glass Jaw's a band. Yeah, Trap Jaw.
He-Man. That's isn't that the movie that
the Knee Brothers?
Yeah.
Are they still doing it?
I don't know. You said they were. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if they are. I think they might be. I'm not going to say whether they are or not. And not know.
Adam, are you guys doing the He-Man movie?
Yeah. So I like that. Like where the Rex Luthor or Rex
Ruthless.
Rex Ruthless. Yeah,
but you kind of got where we got it from.
Yeah. So I think that when he comes back and he's got that jaw and it's definitely a good look. It's definitely a great look. Yeah.
You're getting all the references, which is fun too, though, because they're like literally all over the book. They're everywhere, but it's all like cartoon references,
Yeah, people that love pop culture, like in all its forms, will definitely get a kick out of this book because there's a bunch of little references and hints and winks to a bunch of different stuff as you're reading it. So
so we only have a couple more days left. I think it's a week. We're in our last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
6 days. Yeah.
So I'm going to Comic-Con this weekend, LA Comic-Con, Friday to Sunday. So we timed it so that the campaign would end while I'm at Comic-Con. Hopefully, trying to push it there. Trying to get some new backers there. But that should be cool.
Right on.
So what are you going to be?
I'll be emailing my mom and saying, please donate.
So when you're going to Comic-Con, what are you going there on your own, or is it you're in a booth with someone else, or?
My comic shop invited me to be like a guest because I've done like a signing with them before, so that was really cool. Collector's Paradise and Comic Bug, they're the two that I've done signing, and so they invited me, and I'm just gonna have Popscar's books, but I'm also gonna have Popscar's toys. I got these really, really sick like bootleg toys made by. So there's 6 versions of Pinky, and each version has a different weapon, and each version is drawn by a different artist. So I have 6 different artists doing the like card. They're really dope, though. I'm excited to get those out there.
I saw you post a few of them on Instagram, on your Instagram feed a while back. So yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, this is going to be their debut, which is fun. I hope we do more toys, though. I think the dinosaurs is next for toys. I think we got to get some toys done.
Yeah, you should. Pat called me one day and he said, "Hey, dude, I reached out to this artist who's making a toy of Dante. It's like 1,000 pieces."
I don't know why I did this, but
fully articulating like
every single thing is like articulated, moves. Every joint, and we look at it and it's just like 200 pieces that we have to figure out to put together.
And I was like, let's finish the comic first.
Yeah.
But I love where his head's at, though. So
I think there's a way to do it where we make it look like it's all articulated, but it's only like 3 pieces.
Yeah.
Because the design is Dante, and he's got a frying pan. It's a pretty dope toy. We just haven't printed it yet.
So that's what you find someone, and what is it? They use 3D printers to do that now, or like
Yeah, 3D design, sculpt it, and then print it out. Yeah.
That's so great, with the 3D printers now.
So cool.
It's crazy what you can do.
You use some magnets and they pop on the joints. It's
wild. Yeah.
I love toys still. I haven't like got out of like action figures. I've been like collecting them again. So I think to have dino toys would be sick. Oh yeah, cool. Ghost Rider, awesome. Baby.
Yeah, the Mezco 112 one there.
That's awesome.
It lights up, the flames light up, so yeah, I'm still a bit of a kid at heart too. So.
I am too. Ghost Rider is a character who I'm like, I think of Marvel, right? And if Marvel was like, Pat, like who do you want to work on? Like what Marvel character would you want to write? Like, of course, I think like Spider-Man or something. But then I think like, well, it's been done. I've already like loved those stories so much, and I don't have anything to contribute. But Ghost Rider, I never really got into. But man, the design is so cool. And it's about like he's a demon and it's hell, and I could get down with that. So I think that would be my if Marvel ever comes knocking, I think I would do a really sick Ghost Rider story.
Yeah. As a kid, that was one of my books. I loved like I dug Spider-Man and all that, but really the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider with Mark Texiera on the art and stuff just blew my mind. And then they did that glow in the dark cover. And I was like, oh my God, the Ghost Rider with like the flames glowing in the dark. I was like, it just, as a kid, it just blew my mind. Like, I was a sucker for those gimmick covers back in the 90s.
I mean, I think I was too. Those X-Men like holographic ones or whatever.
Oh, yeah. For me, I mean, I had a lot of baseball cards, and they do the same thing to you. They're like,
hollow foil and all that
this
stuff.
One, it's so shiny. It's like fish to a lure. You're like, that one's shiny.
Die
Upper Deck were good with the one in how many? So you'd like buy 3 or 4 packs and you get that one card out of like 3 packs, like Rookie Sensation or
there's an artist proof
All-Star Tops or there's all kinds of little things like that for sure.
They made there was one pack you could get that actually had a clear, it was a transparent, fully transparent card, and then the player was just outlined. And like
it was actually just invisible. There was no card.
There was no card, and it was worth a lot of money. It's silly. And then Magic the Gathering, I remember just drooling over some of the other cards friends had, and just being
Played
so
Magic
jealous.
the Gathering?
I did. I don't know. I don't think I really knew how to play it, but I really liked the cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little too young to fully understand, but all of the friends that my
the art
brother's
was really
friends-
cool. Yeah, the art was
I was
always
like,
cool.
oh, I want that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone actually played Magic. No, they did, but not anyone that I was friends with. It was all just a competition of who could get the coolest cards.
It's really big still. I
know.
There's some comic shops that do like Magic Nights and stuff like that.
Someone
you look like you wear deodorant, so I'm pretty sure you don't play it, dog.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Johnny.
I actually don't wear deodorant, believe it or not. I'm over it. What's the point?
Yeah, I actually I don't very often either. Maybe just in the summer months when it gets really hot and I'm working, because I work in construction. So, but generally, like I even asked my wife, I'm like, do I smell? And she's like, no, man, you never smell. So I'm like,
you smell like you play Magic, dog.
Yeah, that's it.
You smell like you play Magic.
I smell more if I play Magic.
No. Yeah. I usually have sleeveless. I put sleeves on for this, to little formal it up.
We're all thankful.
Yeah.
From eating too many Doritos, man. Maybe that's why they smell. I don't know. Yeah. Too many Doritos and Mountain Dew, so. Yeah. So yeah, man. Johnny dropped the link in the description. So if people are just tuning in or you missed part of it, you could click on the link to go back this book on Kickstarter, the Jurassic Parkour 4. So it's either in the descriptions or in the chats if you're watching. So you have 6 days left to go back this book. It's a fun book, man. Anyone that like I said, you love cartoons, if you're a big fan of Saturday morning cartoons or even like after school cartoons too. Like, I mean, I remember watching cartoons after you get home from school. You'd have that little block before like all those afternoon, like Donahue or Oprah would come on. You'd have that little chunk of cartoons before those afternoon
before like
talk
5.
shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you had some cool cartoons back then too.
And I think like a cool, like the story is about like failing and trying again. And I think that's why it's cool, is like, because we failed at getting this thing out a bunch of times and we kept going. And it's like, these dinosaurs, they get, out of shape and they get addicted to certain things. And, it's about trying again. Can you still be a hero? And I think that's cool. Even though the book is like complete batshit, like goofy, silly, it does have like at least like a heart to it, which I think makes it like the reason for doing it,
Yeah, it's got great bones. It really does. And everything on top of that is like all bonus and fun. But yeah, it's been through so many different iterations that it really was like we had an ice sculpture, and at first we were like trying to make anything.
I got better at drawing. You see, I got much better. Yeah. Like my character designs got way better.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
like by the third one, it's like, okay, I'll buy that. That works,
And then you like the Aries.
Then Aries are just like, oh my gosh,
okay,
they're like dynamic and they're flying and there's movement and they're like, mine are all flat. His are like 3-dimensional.
Yeah, really brings it to life.
Yeah,
there's some great panels like where they get all hulked out and they start fighting. I love it. Yeah, where they get all hulked out. I love those scenes. Some great splash pages, and then when they just tearing people apart and stuff,
just ripping people in half.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few panels in there that I love it.
Yeah,
and I love the little panel where they're transforming, and it's like
at the bottom,
all heavy inks. Yeah, all heavy inks where you just. But all you really see is like the eyeballs. Yeah, that's like, a great panel. I love that panel.
Yes, it reminds me of Space Jam. That was like our Space Jam.
Yeah,
Remember when the monsters transform in Space Jam? Those little guys turn into like the huge basketball players. Yeah. That's what we talked about for that one. Yeah. But thank you. Yeah, like I'm glad you dig that stuff. That's like some of our favorite stuff too.
Yeah, those panels were fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of great panels, but those are some of the like standout. Like, I'm a big fan of splash pages, so anytime you give me a splash page, I love it because it allows the artist to go in with a lot more detail, right? Because they're working on a larger surface, and really flex their muscles when you give them a splash page to do. So, and I'm sure he must have loved doing those splash pages too.
I think he's having too much fun. Yeah, drawing like dinosaurs and ripping people apart.
Yeah, he's had so many great additions to it too. Stuff that we didn't ask for that he like
Totally.
the one before the panel before the splash of them all hulked up where they're I won't give it away, but what they do to get hulked up, the way that he did that with the
vials. Yeah,
that was all him.
We didn't tell him that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Each guy, like,
as soon as we saw that, we were like, "This is so cool, man! It's so creative." He's like infusing his own love and creativity of like that stuff into it. You know?
Yeah, that was a great panel layout right there with the, and then they're start hulking out. Yeah. That was that page is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good one. He did another panel layout that I thought was like in the upcoming stuff that's really cool, where he like hides a panel like on the side of a building, which I thought was just like, I don't know, just neat, different. I don't normally see that stuff.
So how exactly did you hook up with Ari and stuff?
So Ariel Ayasi is the colorist, and he did a book with me. We did one issue. It's called Monsters for Sale, and it's based off a YouTube short film I made, and I wrote it as like a kids horror film. And I wanted to do like a Goosebumps graphic novel kind of thing. So he did that with me, and we never finished it. It just never panned out. I think I realized how expensive all these books were, and I was like, "All right, dude, you got to chill out and just pick one or two to focus on." Because once I kind of got into it, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do like 10 books. And I quickly realized it was too much. So, we worked together on that. And then he lettered another book called No H2O of mine. And I asked him, hey, would you give us a pitch page for this dinosaur book I have? And he said, you should talk to Ari. He's like, Ari will love this. So that's how we got linked up with Ari. And he kind of then just like took it over.
Is that H2O book available as an add-on?
No H2O, it's not available as an add-on because I just don't have any copies. I have like 5 copies left. So until I do another print run, which I probably will be doing with lesser known comics. That No H2O will come out with them next.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
because the art's pretty cool in that book too. So.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome book. It's like Mad Max for kids. That's what I call it. And it needs to be finished. It's supposed to be 2 volumes, and we only did the one. And if that's how it ends, it's like the most depressing ending ever. It needs to get another ending to the.
You're just gonna make a bunch of kids sad, Pat.
Yeah, it's a sad ending. It needs to be wrapped up. But yeah, I'll go back to that someday. It's just like you get so busy with these books, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still not done with Pop Scars. I feel like I have more to give for that world too, so it's like just trying to figure out time to devote to them.
Yeah, I really love the work you put into Pop Scars. The guest artists you got to do covers too, like some of my favorites that were kicking around on Instagram, like people.
Me too.
Yeah, like all the guys I kept seeing you get for those variant covers. I was like, damn.
I know.
Like everyone was like just as impressive as the next. I was like,
so grateful to all those people who jumped in and had fun drawing Pinky, and it turned out to be so cool. I think we did like 22 variants total, and man, it just like it makes the book feel bigger and more special, and it's cool to see. I probably wouldn't get like Robert Samelin to do a whole issue, but it's great to see him do like a cover or something,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it kind of helps promote the book too, because they're sharing their art, like the covers they do. So it helps get the word out there, like, because people will see like them doing something, they'll be like, oh, what the hell is this? So like getting the guests to do variant covers, like you guys have 3.
We have 4
aside from the main. You have the main, and then you have 3 guest artists. Yeah, this one is
Nico Bascano, not Nico Bascuana. I can't say his last name. I'm sorry, Nico. That one we got a long time ago. We've just been sitting on that one. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know what? he drew Street Sharks, and that's how I found him. I found a Street Sharks post, and I was like, dude, you're amazing. Like, please do a dinos for us.
There's a really cool process video of him doing that cover too. That's
on the Kickstarter.
There's a link to it on the Kickstarter if you want to check it out. Cool. It's really awesome.
A time lapse,
yeah. All your variant covers are fantastic for this book, for the parkour books. Like, so any cover anyone picks, they're getting a great cover. So,
thank you, Andy. Which one's your favorite?
I always love the
classic.
Yeah. The A cover, man, you nailed it, man.
The A cover feels like it's the essence of it, It's like I don't know. That's how Pop Scars was too. I think Santi, the A cover, he got the essence of it, and then everything else kind of like fell into place.
Yeah.
But it's hard to top that.
Her walking down the strip, it's.
I felt like that was all I needed, and this one has it too. That them flying off the building just looks so good. Some of the other ones are very cool though too. I'm happy we were able to have some other people jump in and contribute to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they did great work on them all. Yeah. So, man, Johnny, what do you have anything we haven't touched on that you want to ask, or?
Yeah, I got a few things.
Yeah,
all right, man.
So when did you guys decide to kind of shorten the name? Because I kind of liked the long, goofy name, but like I can understand the shortening of it. Like, when did that come about?
I don't know, Pat. Very recently, actually. One day, Pat just said to me, "Hey, I showed when we were shopping the comic around because we did submit it to a few publishers to see if anyone wanted to pick it up before we went down any further roads with like turning it into a graphic novel." And Pat said, "Hey, I showed it to a buddy of mine. He said that he thinks the title's too long." And it's the first time in my life where I took a note and I was just like, okay. It's hard. I'm stubborn and I'm a perfectionist.
So
am I. And it was like, I just thought about it for like 10 seconds. I was like, yeah, the Jurassic Parkour 4. All right, sure. But yeah, for people that are going to be like the fans of it and stuff, like, yes, the original title, the Super Fantastic Jurassic Parkour 4, it's awesome because it's stupid and long and silly, like you said.
And it's still in the book. Like that's kind of how we refer to them in the past, is they were the Super Fantastic Jurassic Parkour 4, and now they're the Jurassic Parkour 4.
Yeah. There's a scene where a moment where one of the main characters is trying to say the name, and she's like the super the fetch it. So
yeah,
that was recently though.
Yeah, that was recently. It was.
Well, you mean, have you seen comics that are coming out now with all the like long weird names? Like, so I mean, you wouldn't be.
Yeah, you wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah, it's like kind of. I don't know if it's. There's like a 2-year period where everyone had super long comic.
The Me You Love in the Dark and
and all
too much.
Stuff.
You know what? I realize I like shorter because you get more art. Otherwise, you're trying to cram in all these words on the top of the thing, and it's too much. I think shorter is better.
The song, though,
the song
it'll forever be the Super Fantastic.
Yeah. And that was a reference to like, Fantastic Four and all these other kind of old school comics.
Yeah, it was literally
I think a lot of
everything.
Old school comics had like super long names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And parkour, you guys, either you guys like into it?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say neither of us do parkour by any. But I will say,
my back hurts, dude.
I was a skateboarder for a long time, and Pat is a really insanely talented like rock climber.
I like rock climbing, but not outside.
He is a freak. I like you go to he's like, hey, you want to go to the gym? I'm like, no, because you're gonna climb, and I'm just gonna stand there and go, Jesus, dude, like, what are you? But yeah, so I think we both have a admiration for that sort of. I think parkour can fall somewhere in between.
I've done parkour
things.
in the past, though. I've done parkour in the past. Like if you grew up with Jackass, Like, you've done parkour.
We had a thing called freestyle walking, and it was kind of dumb, and it was parkour-ish, but like, yeah, it wasn't quite on the level. We weren't jumping off of buildings and doing all that David Bell shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
No, you know what I would love to do is to hire some dudes that are really good at parkour to wear the dinosaur blow-up suits and just make a really bad live action version of the comic with those suits, you know?
Yeah, because there was that viral video all over the place during the pandemic or whatever it was, where there was a guy in a dinosaur suit doing
took our
parkour.
title. It says Jurassic Parkour on YouTube.
That's the thing too. There are all these like little things over the last 10 years that are just kind of reminders that we had this project. You know, it was just like a new Jurassic Park movie came out, the Lego thing, the video of the guy doing the parkour in the suit. Like,
if we didn't get this out, we would just keep getting ripped off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can always correct people too. They're like, "Oh, we did it first," you know?
Yeah.
I've gotten, like you were saying earlier about just getting older and maturing and stuff. I've definitely gotten less. I'm not concerned about that. Like, Pat and I have had so many conversations. Like, we're worried someone's going to take the idea, whatever. We both know now. It's like the idea is out there. At this point, like, we are so confident and happy with it, and like, you can't get hung up on ideas getting ripped off, because there's a great book called Big Magic. It's actually by the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and which it's an excellent book, but it talks about creativity and ideas and how they flow, and how it can you will have the exact same idea as someone else and have no idea. And that's it's happened to me before.
We ripped off stuff for this, you know. I mean, not that we like ripped it off, but it's referencing.
I would say we Tarantino stuff. You know, Tarantino. If people know, if you know his work, it's like, you know, that he worked at a video store and he's watched all these movies.
Yeah, you want to reference stuff. You know,
it influences you. Yeah, for sure. So.
And this book is like a total blast, and it's just so full of such fun characters. And I want to know which one you guys had the most fun writing for. Like, if you guys had a favorite.
That's a great question. I think, well, Pat, I'll answer for you. How about that?
You probably know, but
Pat is I think we kind of personified ourselves as these certain characters, and I would say Pat is Elvis.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of supposed to be this weird cartoon version of Dante, but
Dante started going different on his own like trajectory, I would say.
Yeah, but I personally like writing for Albert the most, because he's the tech whiz, and it's just fun to come up with.
His lines are ridiculous. Yeah.
There's a game that I used to do I was in the Groundlings program for a while, improv program, and there's a game you play called Expert, where someone tells you you're a beekeeper, and you have to convince the audience that you're a beekeeper by literally just making shit up. You have to sound so much like like you can say, you know, whatever it is, the flactoids of the bee sting, excrete, blah, 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 whatever it is. And so for me, that's what Albert is like. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to sound as technical, and it can get really fun, but they're all fun, to be honest. I don't know.
Writing for Mayor Huge is pretty fun. He's a fun.
Yeah, you're good at that too, Pat. Really,
because I could just like hear him like saying like these big long monologues where I'm like, where did I come up with this? But it's like you just hear Mayor Huge in your head, you know, or Jeff Goldblum saying just like these weird, you know.
Yeah, there's
I don't know, haikus or whatever. Yeah, Jeffisms. Yeah. But Elvis, I like writing Elvis too, because he's just abrasive. You know, that's always fun for me.
Yeah, he's like they're all. It's a really good question. I think none of them are hard to write for. That's what's fun about it, is they all feel really, because I think that's the hardest part about making anything, is having characters have their own voices and feeling distinct enough that they're not all, because they have to all be the same because they're four as a unit together, but they also have to be completely different and have their own kind of stick to their guns with certain things and how they would react in certain situations. And it's really cool to see them come to life and really have to design them in a way that with their language and how they respond. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
And my last weird one is the historical figures you named them after. Is there a particular reason that you picked those historical figures for the certain dinosaurs?
I was like the first day we worked on them too. Was like when we did those sketches. That was like the first day we compared them with historical figures. So that was really, really early on.
It was early on. There's definitely probably some revision that could be made, but who cares? Hoover was Robert Hoover, who was a fighter pilot, and decorated. He's a real person, but like he was based off of. He's like that's our air combat specialist. He's got some wartime PTSD. Clearly, Albert Einstein. He's the smart the Stegosaurus, the super smart one. And then Dante was actually this Italian Renaissance guy. I'm not
Dante
sure.
Alighieri?
Alighieri, yeah.
Yeah, the writer?
Yeah, he's a writer and a poet. And Dante was kind of like this. He's like sort of like the, I don't want to say, he's not really the Donatello. He's more like the
Martha Stewart of the group.
I've never heard that, but all right.
He's not like any of the Ninja Turtles. I like when I try to break them down and say who's like who.
Yeah.
Dante doesn't fit. He's not like Leonardo. He is to I think to us he's like at least in the first issue he's the protagonist dinosaur. Where I think his is the arc that you kind of feel the most. But the other ones I think are easier to pair up. His is not as much.
And then Elvis was, we talked about this, but we weren't really sure if we remembered it correctly, like whether or not he was Elvis Presley, but he's also just
like hockey players or something.
Yeah, he's just like a hybrid of a bunch of jacked up NHL enforcers.
Yeah. I like that part of the book. That made me think of like G.I. Joes, the back.
Like the dossiers?
Yeah, exactly. The back of where you get the profile of each figure. That was great.
And we got to include some like fun bad guys of the past, like because we have so many characters designed that it was a shame not to share them. So that was a fun way to do
in the
4 cameos.
Picture, the little pictures in them where the people they're fighting and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, and I love the style too, like the color palette he chose for it to make it look like old
It's kind of sepia,
kind of pixelated,
like newspapery.
Like, a nice touch. Nice touch. And I've noticed because before we went on air, you guys said you used to play a lot of NHL, and I noticed that character had the hockey put in it. So I was like, oh, these dudes like hockey a little bit. So
I love hockey. I still love hockey. Yeah. So any way we could sneak in some references, I think that's always fun.
Yeah. So guys.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you're funded, so that's great news. So you guys the book will be coming out. 6 days left, so if anyone wants to fund it, you still have 6 days left to go fund it. Usually the last 48, like we said, you get a nice little boost where you get those last minute backers come in and give it a nice little boost there at the end. But hey, don't wait till the last 48 hours to back this, man. Go back it now. Fun book, action packed, great art. Got some pretty funny stuff in there too. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone, I think, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So the link is in the descriptions. Go click on it. Go back this book. I mean, anyone who gets this won't be disappointed. Like we said before, it's a full graphic novel that you're backing here, so it's not just a single issue. You're going to be getting roughly, what did we say, about 100 pages of story.
Yeah.
So
and then
you'll get
a ton of bonus stuff too. A lot of history. Yeah. If you like the making of stuff, we're going to put in a lot of cool sketches and old notes and development stuff.
Yeah. So man, you're getting a full story here. You're you're not going to have to wait months to have a second issue come out. So you're getting a good full story here, and man, that's rare with a Kickstarter. So go back this book. You won't regret it.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah.
Thank you guys. It's been a really fun time, and you gotta give us a link to that intro.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Yeah, just have send me a Gmail account. I'll mail it right over.
Yeah, even the whole so this is live, obviously, but are you guys gonna repost the episode and we can share it with friends and family and do that whole fun thing?
Yeah,
it's
gonna be up on YouTube.
Awesome,
sick,
sweet.
But yeah,
cool.
But yeah, the book has so much heart. You guys nailed what you're going for, and I'm really happy that it funded. I can't wait to read the whole thing when it drops, man. So kick ass.
Thank you, Johnny and Joe. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks. Seriously,
hey,
it's
pleasure.
Really
no,
cool.
Thank you guys, man. It was great having you on. It was a pleasure talking to you. Nice meeting you, Andy, for the first time. We've had Pat on before, so
yeah, you as well.
Yeah.
Pat knows he's always welcome, and so are you now, Andy. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thank you guys. That's the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
It's a lot of fun. It was easy
Just
conversation.
fun hanging out with you guys.
Like, next time we'll eat beers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Freeze up some ice cubes and just chew it.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. All right. So, Johnny, man, Friday, we're back. No, Thursday. Sorry, we're back on Thursday. Thursday with our Caged Love, our first Caged Love episode. Thursday at 8 p.m. That would be November 30th. We're going to be covering Cookie Picked the Knowing for her first Nick Cage movie that we'll be talking about. So,
and tomorrow afternoon, we're having a super secret call overseas with a special guest we're hoping to have on for you guys. A really entertaining fella. We're hoping we can swing it, so we'll let you guys know more about that in the future. But until then, we'll holler at you later. Take it easy, y'all.